Welcome to WLSA, LaSalle's very own student-run newscast. I'm Ryan Pickering.
Every Lenten season, LaSalle gives back through the Rice Bowl collection. WLSA has more. Every Lenten season, LaSalle takes part in a community give-back project called Operation Rice Bowl.
The Rice Bowl benefits mostly our school in Rangai, Kenya.
Last summer, Mrs. Martinelli, Mrs. Stager, and 5 LaSalle students traveled to our Kenyan sister school and were greatly impacted by their generosity, as well as their current state of living.
The children there are our brothers and sisters, and their means are desperate. They're going through a drought right now, so that means we need to help them as much as possible. The children there are eager to learn, but it's hard to learn when your stomach's empty.
So, when Wednesday morning rolls around,
just sacrifice a little and give a lot to them. So we're hoping people will be generous.
After the disaster in Haiti, the LaSalle community rushed to help. The WLSA team takes a look at their efforts.
On January 12th, Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, suffered a magnitude 7.0 earthquake. The quake left at least 250,000 dead and 3 million without homes or even food.
There's no help, no hospital, no electricity, nothing, no food, no phone, no food, no water, nothing.
So how exactly has the LaSalle community responded to this natural disaster? LaSalle had a dress-down day that raised nearly $12,000 for various charities. For more info on how to help, go to helphaitinow.org or redcross.org.
For our LaSallian of the Week segment, we go to Anthony Federici.
Each week, we focus on a LaSallian who represents our founder's teachings. This week, we take the focus away from a student and onto one of our campus ministers, Mr. Daly.
I help to coordinate and run the liturgies that we have, campus-wide liturgies, the Advent and Lenten Masses, the Lenten Reconciliation services. I do retreats, the homeroom retreats for freshmen through juniors, Christian service retreat for seniors. I teach peer ministry in the Christian service class on Mondays and Fridays. And on Wednesdays, I supervise 90 seniors as they go out into Providence and do community service. A transformative experience that I had was when I was in college and I would do community service, local community service. I went on some service trips to the Appalachia region of the United States, out of the country, etc. And we took a group of students down to the Dominican Republic to volunteer in the sugarcane fields. I realized during that experience that the impact on my students from a week in the Dominican Republic or a weekend working with the homeless in Boston, or a week in Camden, New Jersey, watching you and your classmates go to Amos House and Macaulay House and Joslyn Daycare and work with these kids. I find that extremely rewarding. So that's why I'm a campus minister.
Dedicated. He's always doing something. You see him in the hallway, he's running around with Miss Norton running somewhere. And I went to Jamaica with him and he's very dedicated. He loves what he does. And he does it well.
This is Anthony Federici reporting for WLSA.
For sports, we now go to Maria Capuano.
Thanks, Ryan. It was a very successful winter for LaSalle athletics, and today we take a look at some of the women's teams who went the distance. The Lady Rams have proven that girls can play hard too. The end of this year's winter season has brought 3 state championship victories in women's gymnastics, indoor track, and swimming. The gymnastics team won their 8th consecutive state title, the track team their 4th, and the swim team their 3rd. The Lady Rams smoked the competition at all 3 state meets and attracted statewide attention. Of course, these victories mean that great things are expected of these teams in the future. With many valuable team members graduating, the Pressure is on for these wins to continue into the next winter season. For WLSA, I'm Maria Capuano.
From actors to musicians to artists, LaSalle has had many talented students walk the hallways, but now one graduate from the class of 2009 is breaking ground on a new genre of filmmaking.
These are the jaw-dropping, suspense-filled minutes of a horror film. But this one's different for Southern New Englanders. It's the work of a local talented, award-winning college student. Meet Dave Lawler.
I'm a pretty normal kid. I don't believe in any of this violence and any of that disturbing images that people think is so gross. But I just think it's interesting because it's visual, it's art.
Dave is a 2009 graduate of LaSalle Academy and now attends Suffolk University in Boston, Massachusetts, majoring in film studies.
I always like cameras, especially my grandma's ginormous camera, so I like to play around with it.
He may be on his way to big bucks and Emmy Awards in the film industry, but he knew what he wanted to do entering high school. He says LaSalle's film teacher, Miss Saros, influenced him the most, helping him to get more serious about something he was clearly passionate about.
I think I make some pretty interesting films. Not only just horror, but I've made dance videos, documentaries on myself, nothing too crazy, but I made some music videos, I think I just said, with some pretty talented people.
Dave is just the latest graduate to be going on to do big things. LaSalle has had many talented students in the film industry, including Kelly Erickson, a student reporter at Auburn working for ESPN and recently wrapping up work on an Adam Sandler film. Matt Magiacomo, who used to be an actor at LaSalle, going on to work for NBC, and Colby Blanchett, who also attended LaSalle with Dave Lawler and entered numerous film fests.
Less dialogue is better for a film because you want people to be more focused on the shots and the actions in the movie instead of listening to people talk when they shouldn't be talking at a certain scene where you just cut off the whole movie it's just worthless. So.
Lawler is breaking ground in the horror film department, but also on other film areas. He often incorporates his other hobby, breakdancing, in many of his films.
If someone is starting out in the film industry, the advice I would give them is 1. Look for friends that you can work together with. 2. Make a lot of films. 3 is read a lot of books on how to make a film. Also go online and go to ehow.com or something.
So with alumni looking back and prospective students of LaSalle looking to the future, there are many more filmmakers to come.
And that's it for our newscast. Join us next time. For WLSA, I'm Ryan Pickering.